GodLogic debates a Muslim scholar. And from the clips that I've seen on Twitter, it seemed like GodLogic gave him a run for it. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like button so this video can go out into the algorithm to people just like you, and it can help this channel grow. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, y'all. So this scholar name is Dr. I think Nazar, right? And GodLogic is debating him. He's a Muslim scholar. And I saw a clip on Twitter and I was like, you know what? I need to check this out. But like when I saw the clip, I noticed it was on The Way, at the show called The Way, right? And I was like, wait, I thought there was gonna be like a debate release of like the three Christian and the three Muslim again, based on what the Muslim was saying. But man, y'all, we got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of good stuff going on, and we got a lot of things where Islam, man, it seems like they are in shambles right now. We got Orthodox Muslim complaining about Islam and saying that they suck and that we're basically, the Christians are doing their thing. You got Cora getting cooked by Jerome. I think his name is Sig. So a lot of good things are going on right now. And so I'm really interested to see how this debate went. Like I said, I only seen a clip. So let's see.
Jesus a Muslim?
Obviously, I'm a Christian. I say no. I think that it's very misleading what I usually hear about what a Muslim is, and then trying to apply it to Jesus and prophets before Muhammad. I think that we could start with however Dr. Nasser defines what a Muslim to be, and then we can go from there.
Sure. So, I'm sorry, honey. What I would say is that, yes, of course, I believe that Jesus, alayhi salam, peace be upon him, was a Muslim. And the reason I would say that is because, in my perspective, you have two possibilities. If you want to take from the world religions in which actually believe in Jesus, Islam and Christianity. And obviously, if you take the Quran as authoritative, then you're going to come to the conclusion that he's Muslim because he was a prophet of God and he therefore lived as prophets would. That being said, though, if you want to just look at the Bible, I do believe that you are not going to walk away unscathed either way. And what I'm trying to say by that is that either you're going to take a Muslim Jesus or a Christian Jesus, and you're going to have to navigate the Bible in such a way where you're not going to walk away with all of it, because I don't assume univocality. And so from that perspective, what I would say is that if you take the Muslim version of Jesus, what you're going to get is you're going to be able to salvage so much of the Bible. So much of it will make sense to you. So much of it will be very clear that he was a prophet, that he prayed to God, that he worshiped God, that he taught people to worship God, etc. There's a day of judgment, the 6 pillars of Iman, things like this. However, in addition to that, you'll also have the added bonus of having a theology that makes sense to you. On the flip side, if you embrace the Christian version of Jesus, what I think is going to happen is you're going to end up twisting or denying, essentially twisting to a point where there's no more meaning left. They become unrecognizable, certain verses, certain ideas. And then, in addition to that, even once you're done with all that twisting, you're still going to be stuck with a theology that doesn't make sense to you. So therefore, of those two options, it makes a lot more sense to embrace the Muslim.
Just to keep the conversation like kind of...
One thing that I noticed is they just want to follow something just because it make perfect sense. Not saying that Christianity don't make sense, because it do, but it's like people want to follow stuff that just so easy to follow. Like it's as if it kind of give them space to live how they want to live. And I think that's part of one of my biggest issue with like the whole ordeal when people is trying to choose a religion to follow. They just be like, "Oh, it just makes sense. It's easy," because they don't understand the Trinity. But the Trinity is actually, yes, the Trinity can be complex, but like once you have the Holy Spirit and once you have been like studying, it start to make a lot of sense. And so I think that that's the problem with people these days is they don't. I don't know. I guess they think God just got to be so simple, right? But He's God, bro. So that's just my take when I hear stuff like this.
Concise. He asked, like, what is a Muslim? Can you define that?
So there's linguistically, a Muslim is one who submits to God Almighty.
Okay.
Now, of course, you could say that Islam as a religion would be the religion of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. So I understand that there is we can get into that in a moment. Is that what you want to clarify?
Yeah, basically, because when, like what you just said, you said that you would define a Muslim as one who submits their will to God, but there's a lot of people who believe they submit their will to God, and you would say they're not Muslim.
Correct.
So when you say a Muslim is one who submits their will to God, you're talking about a specific God. You have a specific ideology of God. You can't bow to a statue and and be a Muslim. You can't bow to your mother and think that your mom is God and be a Muslim. I can't bow to Jesus, believe he's God, and I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's important for us to clarify what you mean by God when you say a Muslim is one who submits to God. That's specifically the God of Islam, the God of the Quran and the Hadith.
The all-powerful creator of the universe.
And
Right.
just for clarification,
Yeah.
can someone be Muslim, submit themselves to God, but then not think that Muhammad was a prophet?
So after the time of the prophet, just like in the same way at the time of any prophet, you have to recognize the prophets that exist at your time or before you,
Okay.
right? So now that we're living in this time, obviously the Prophet Muhammad came and established his whole religion, etc., the religion of Islam. So obviously you have to accept that. But at the time of Jesus, it was accepting the prophet Jesus. And at the time of Moses, accepting the prophet Moses, and so on and so forth. But all of them taught the same message, that God, the all-powerful creator of the universe, is one God.
Got it. So you have to accept that, you have to submit yourself to God, and you have to accept all the prophets to be Muslim.
Yes, correct.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so again though, submit your will to
But is that true? Do they accept all the prophets? Do they truly accept all the prophets? That's the big question.
what God are you talking about specifically? Because when you apply this to the prophets, right? Obviously, Islam claims Moses, Abraham, and stuff like that. But the theology of who God is in the Quran, that's who you're talking about. It can't be anything out. Like, for example, can you believe in a God? Can you believe in the prophets? Can you believe that God, the all-powerful creator, sent the prophets and believe in these prophets, believe in their message, but believe that God is a woman and be a Muslim?
Excellent. So I assume, let's go with father first, right?
No, a woman.
Oh, is a woman? No, of course not. No, definitely
Okay.
not.
And why is that?
Because God is not a man.
All right. So you have a specific ideology
Or
of who
human, I
God
should say.
is.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. So you have a specific theology of who God is. You have to believe in that specific thing, that specific ideology, in order to be a Muslim.
You have to believe that God is one and is not a human creation, not an idol, not a plant, not a man, not a human woman, not anything
Can you
like
believe that he's anything outside of what the Quran and Hadith tell you?
that. No, you have to believe in God as described in the names of Allah. Yeah,
Right,
the attributes and names, attributes of Allah.
Good.
Definitely.
So what we can do now here is we've got that foundation. Now let's apply it to Jesus.
Sure.
And let's see if Jesus had that theology. Does he teach, preach, follow, believe in the same God that we see in the Quran and the Hadith?
Excellent.
And so how would you
Yeah.
demonstrate that?
So you guys are aware that I think it's Proverbs 18, I think it is, that says,
I want to know why do like a lot of these Muslims they be like excellent, okay, beautiful, like why? I want like is that where that come from? Did someone start that? Like Cora should be like I know she'd be like beautiful, but what's that other word she say a lot? Man, I She say okay? No, she said okay, perfect. Yeah. So I want to know, why do they do that? I don't know. I know they're just a little bit, a little sidebar there, but I don't know, man. I just always wonder why they do that.
Yahweh, you are my rock, right? Famous.
You said Proverbs 18?
I think so.
Can we?
Am I wrong with that? Or Psalms?
Can
Sorry,
we-
excuse me, Psalms 18. My bad.
Psalms 18?
My bad. I believe it's Psalms 18.
There's a few verses in there. That
Yeah.
say
So
he's a rock.
Yahweh, you are my rock,
Mhm.
right? So what I would do in that circumstance, if somebody says, Yahweh, you are my rock, I would say, I reject that. I put a big X on the idea that God is a rock, like you said, because it goes against our theology. It is not defined in our names and attributes of God. I reject the idea of God being a rock. Now, I assume that that person is going to say, wait, we don't believe that God is a rock either. So I'd say, okay, well then why would you call God a rock? They say it's figurative. I'd say, great. This is the important part. Figurative for what? So now we have to shift over to figurative for what? So we leave the literal meaning, and now we're shifting over here to this mystery box called the figurative meaning. Okay. And the moment we open that mystery box, I say, figurative for what? And they say, well, we say God meaning that we depend upon God. I would say, one of the names of Allah is Al-Wakil, the one that you depend upon. Mm. So while I affirm that meaning that you have clarified, I will reject your wording. So now let's apply that to Father.
Wait.
Okay, sure.
So can you be a Muslim and say that Allah is my rock?
No, you reject the wording. Mm-hmm. You reject that. I do not accept this idea of rock. Mm-hmm. The moment you tell me, though, that I don't accept it either, mm-hmm. I don't think of God as an actual rock. I say, well, what do you mean then?
Yeah.
And the figurative meaning is the one that you depend upon. I say, that is the part that we agree about, not the rock.
So if they say that Allah is my rock, meaning that he's the one I depend upon, I stand upon him, he's my foundation, you would still reject saying that Allah is your rock?
I would not use that terminology. I use the terminology in the Quran.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we
can go to Father now.
So now, as in terms of Father, I understand that the Jews, which exist till today, they would explain that, the Israelites, and Jesus was an Israelite speaking to an Israelite audience.
Yeah.
So if he's going to use language, we're going to ask, okay, what does this language mean? So whether it be the Jews before Jesus talking about Father as a creator, because oftentimes it says, he is my Father, our creator. That's a few times in the Bible. And so it seems to be Father in a figurative sense. Now, I know even after Jesus, 1 John 3:10, what does it say? It says, it's just describing that the believers are children of God and that the evil people are children of the devil. We're not talking about the devil giving birth here. We're talking about figuratively speaking. So the moment you clarify this and explain that, listen, culturally, when I say rock, that's within our culture. We know what we're talking about. I say, well, I'm not from that.
I must admit, like, this Muslim scholar, I think he's doing a pretty decent job at, like, kind of, explaining his position. So he's not like all over the place. I feel like he's clearly explaining everything. I'm not, he's not throwing me off. So I get what he's saying so far.
Culture. So I'm going to use Islamic terminology that is universal. And as long as you clarify the meaning, then I got no problem with that. And so the same thing with Father. If somebody says God is our Father, I say, well, we don't use that language. And say, well, don't worry, we're talking within our context. It has a meaning. Figurative for what? If you say the one that is a creator, he is loving, he's going to do tarbiyah or build you up in such a way where you reach your max potential, that is a-Rabb. So he does tarbiyah. So these are all names of Allah. So we accept all of these meanings.
So is Allah a father then, in any sense?
Okay, no problem. This is why I don't usually talk with my hands so much, but I figured you'd try to, so maybe you guys can join me on this. We reject the literal calling, because
I say any sense.
So let me explain. So if you say it in a literal way, then obviously the idea of being a father is that you're having children, and passing on your nature is to pass on your independent nature. Now, the moment you create something that's independent, it's dependent. So now you have an independent, dependent, it doesn't make sense. So we reject that notion of literal. But the moment you clarify that, like the Jews would, like the Israelites would, they would say, obviously, we don't call ourselves literally the children of God. This is our culture. This is our figurative language. Figurative for what? You open that up, you see the mystery box, and you find certain meanings that are in line with Islam. We say, perfect, that's what we affirm.
So you affirm that Allah is a father in some sense.
Let's do it again. Let's run it back. I can see you're not getting it. I reject.
really am
check
not.
it out. Check it out. Check it out. No
It's a
problem.
yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah, look, there's two sides. This side is the literal meaning. There's a big
I
X on
said
it.
any sense. So that includes metaphorical and figurative. Is he a father in any sense of the word?
I'm explaining it to you. I don't accept the word father.
Okay.
Good. Now, when you say it's figurative, since I reject the word, you have to define figurative for what?
No, I don't, because I said,
Great. Then don't.
Dr. Nasser, any sense. That means any definition, any meaning, whether it's figurative, any figurative meaning, any metaphorical meaning. Is there any sense of father that you can apply to Allah?
So you refuse to define your terms, is what you're saying. So then,
I don't have to. If look, brother,
Yeah, sure.
when I say any sense, that means whatever you can think of on how you define father, think of it. Does that apply to Allah? Yes or no?
Perfect. Is God a rock in any sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He's our foundation.
Is your foundation? Okay,
Yes.
so
So you say I could say yes?
So
Now,
you
your
believe
turn.
you believe that God is a rock?
I believe that Yahweh is my rock.
Figuratively?
Yes.
Figuratively, as in
Yes.
foundation?
I just said that.
With that definition.
I just
I
said
accept
it.
that definition as well.
Okay, good. So
I reject the word rock because I don't believe God is a rock.
then you don't believe. Then you're not affirming what we're saying.
You really don't understand what I'm saying?
I do. Look, this is what you're saying.
I have trouble believing you're not getting it.
Let me say it. Let me still man your point.
Hold on, guys. Did you know that over 80%
I ain't gonna lie, this is a pretty good one. This is a pretty good one because I'm kind of getting what the Muslim guy is saying, to be honest. But I also get what GodLogic is saying too. So this is really good. I just got to keep listening. Like I said, y'all, I'm new to the apologetic scene, right? So I'm very new to this. So I'm just listening and learning and giving my reaction to this.
of people that watch these videos are not subscribed, and that's the best way to support this channel. So become a member.
You just explained to me and broke down.
Let me help you out. Go ahead.
You just explained to me and broke down, and you emphasize how. We reject the terminology.
And if they want to financially support us, they could become a member. All right, now let's get back to the discussion.
Sure.
Your point is we reject the terminology, but we can extract a meaning that is correct or proper.
Not we can. Not we can. Not that we can. That the culture does.
Bro, I'm talking to you. You just explained to me and broke.
Yo, somebody laughing in the background. Yo, somebody laughed in the background. Yo, listen to this. Somebody laughed in the background. It sounded like it was Lady Logic. I ain't even gonna lie. Listen.
Not we can. Not that we can. That the culture does.
Bro, I'm talking to you. You just.
Somebody was laughing in the background. And I think that was Lady Logic, bro. I don't know who that was, but it sounded like it was Lady Logic. Oh man.
Explained to me and broke down.
Let me help you out. Go ahead.
You just explained to me and broke down, and you emphasize how it's like, okay, I got to do this again. I got to do this again.
Yep.
I just repeated to you what you just said to me. You said, that's just the culture. I'm talking, look, a Muslim, you're Dr. Nasser, Muslim. Is there any sense in which the term father or meaning of father can be applied to Allah?
Good.
Yes or no?
Got it. Now, let's say I'm walking in the middle of, I don't know, some new forest. Okay, and I come across a tribe of people.
Hey, hello, right quick. Now I get what GodLogic asking. Because he said, is there any sense? He said, no. And then he went to explain, but I will not accept father, but if you explain it saying father in a I think did he say in a sense? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I ain't finna go all the way back. But basically, figuratively, that's still in a sense, right? So he said, no, you can't. And then he said, yeah, you can. And then he said, no, you can't. So I get where GodLogic like, bro, either yes or no. It's like I want to say yes because yes, but then I want to say no.
People. And I don't know how they use certain terms. I know how I use it. And they tell me that God is a rock or a father or something else, anything that does not comply with the names of Allah, instead of me telling them just that, no, I know exactly how you mean it because I know what's in your head, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, look, I know what I mean. Father is a word that has a meaning. It means that you're giving birth to somebody based on passing on your nature. It means that you have sexual or reproductive organs. So believe me, I reject all that. God does not have any sort of reproductive organs where he's having babies, okay? I reject all of that. Now, if they are the ones, not me, if they are the ones that want to clarify, we don't actually think of God as a literal father making actual babies in that sense, I'll say you can go ahead and clarify what you mean. And the moment they use a definition that is in line with the names of God, I will let them know those are names of God in Islam.
Okay.
Why is that complicated?
All right. So the descriptions that you use, the meaning of father, let's say they use father in the sense of creator, sustainer. So you can affirm like, oh yeah, that's good. These are descriptions of Allah.
Yes.
So then can you then apply that and say, yeah, Allah, you are the father in the sense that you are my creator and sustainer.
So since I don't use those terms because I'm not from that culture, I will say, guys, I understand your words. I don't need to adopt your language.
That's not what I asked. I didn't ask if you need to adopt it. I asked, as a Muslim, can you be a Muslim and affirm that Allah is your father in the sense that he's your creator and sustainer?
As a creator, if you are using this term to strictly define.
Bro, just answer the question. I noticed they do that a lot. Be like, yeah, but in this term, but in this way, yeah, but in this way, it's like they have to. Wow, yeah, I see now. I see.
God as a creator and sustainer, I will let them know I fully agree with those names while I'm not interested in your terminology.
Okay, so I'm being very clear.
But that was not good enough?
No, it wasn't. Because I'm not asking what
Could you give a yes or no answer?
Yes.
Is that possible?
Just really quick, because
I will not use that term, and once it's explained, I will affirm which parts of the explanation I affirm. And in terms of the literal wording, I am not interested in adopting your language.
Yeah,
that's yes. What's wrong with that?
I'm just trying to move the conversation forward. I'm just trying to.
So yeah. It's a no. It's a no. You cannot be a Muslim and affirm that Allah is your father, even in a sense that he's your creator and sustainer. Correct?
What?
You just said you can't do it.
No, you just shifted. You just said
what? Oh my. Really? I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I know I just said earlier that, people follow stuff because it's simple, but it's really not simple. Their religion is not simple. It's like they just accept whatever they want to accept. That's what it sound like to me. It's the type of religion where you accept whatever you want to accept according to the Quran, but they still don't understand. Yeah, making my head hurt now.
Even in the sense,
very specific.
No, even in the sense that you are using it in these definitions.
Creator and sustainer.
Yeah, so I affirm those definitions. So I'm not interested in using your terminology.
So this is why we're stuck here.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
Are you seriously not getting this?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'm just.
Okay, let me. I'll make it real easy for you.
No, please.
Okay, you don't want to let me.
Because I want you to know.
Take your time.
I think we all understand what you're saying.
Yeah, we all understand.
We understand what you're saying.
Go for it.
But what you're saying is not answering my question. I'm not asking what you're interested in using. I'm not asking if it's your preference to use this type of terminology. I'm asking, as a Muslim, can you affirm whether or not Allah is can you affirm that Allah is your father in the sense that he is your creator and sustainer? Can you, yes or no?
I don't use that terminology.
I didn't ask if you use it. Can you?
Can a Muslim do that?
Am I allowed to use that terminology?
As a Muslim?
Definitely not today because we're not in that culture.
Okay, boom. Let's go with that. All right. Not today, you cannot.
Yes.
So was there ever a time where you can be a Muslim and you can refer to Allah as your father in the sense that he's your creator and sustainer?
In the time of the Israelites when they used that terminology and they all knew what they were talking about, yeah.
Okay. So yes, Allah was once a father and then now he's not a father. Is that correct?
Okay. Let me explain why this is
Break it down.
Quite funny. So you understand very well that, so God was once a rock, but he's not a rock.
No.
This is, okay, so.
No, we affirm he's a rock to this day.
So am I allowed to continue my thought?
I'm sorry, because you misrepresented.
I'm gonna,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, if you misrepresent me, I'll just keep cutting you off or what?
I never misrepresented you.
Okay,
I'm sure you don't think so.
Okay, let's unfinish.
That's
I'm
great.
sorry,
All right,
sorry.
go ahead, my bad.
So now what I'm trying to say is, I'll give an analogy that hopefully the Christians will appreciate. Maybe you guys will understand this.
Okay.
In English, you call him Jesus. In French, you call him Jésus. In Spanish, you call him Jesus. Am I right? Now let's come up with a hypothetical language. Let's say there's a language out there that you pronounce the name Jesus as gay. Avery, in that hypothetical situation, are you going to say Jesus gay?
You're talking about his name?
See how childish this is?
No, it's not childish. Let me show you.
Yes
why
or no? Yes or no? Can you say the words?
Hold on. Let me
Exactly.
actually help you out with your analogy. Your analogy is not analogous because we're not talking about simply a name. We're talking about the identity of the figure.
No, you're talking about a name. You're talking about a name.
No, I'm not.
You're talking about an identifier.
Remember, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Yes, an identifier. So as an identifier, who God is, he is the Father. That's who he is theologically. A name of Jesus is not a theological issue. We're talking about your...
Ooh, he's cooking now. The stove just got turned up, y'all. The stove just got turned up. Man, ain't no way this is a scholar? Wow. But I'm not gonna do him like that, yo. I'm not gonna do him like that because he did give a great job explaining, but he didn't give an answer.
theology. So stop trying to bring up, a random word in a random language applied to Jesus. That's not analogous. We're talking about theology.
Not yet.
So if you're talking about, can you...
And what I mean by explaining, I just want to say this. He did a good job of explaining like what he think. Not what it is to be a Muslim. Like the Muslim way. So it just it's just yeah.
apply certain things to Jesus theologically or to God theologically that do not fit? The answer would be no. You understand what I'm saying? But so we're talking about whether or not you can refer to Allah as your Father theologically, and your answer is yes or no.
My answer is, at the time of Jesus, in a certain culture, using the term rock was well known, using the term father was well known.
Who cares?
And okay, if you don't want to hear it, that's fine.
So is using the word Baal. The Israelites called God Baal too. Is that okay?
If at that time they were using terminology that was in line with a meaning that is actually comports and is incompatible with the names and attributes of God, then what's the issue?
Okay, good. So when they said that God was their husband, is that okay? Was Allah once a husband?
Great. So if I come across a people that say to me, we believe God is a husband, I will tell them, I reject that language. If they then say,
You just accepted.
wait, no, I knew you were going to interrupt. That's okay. You were going to say, I reject that language because I use the word husband a certain way. If they tell me in our culture we have a certain figurative language, we do not mean husband in the sense that he has a wife. We don't mean it that way. I would say, would you like to explain? As they explain, either when we open that mystery box and take a look inside and we see that the figurative language means something else, either it's going to comport and be incompatible with the names of God or it won't.
Hey, quick break from the conversation. I want to give a big shout out to Logos. So Logos is an app from the conversation that can help you learn and get deeper in. So Logos people study the Bible, a free YouTube videos. It can even help you break down the words that you. And now let's get back to the episode.
So when
I may just get that app, by the way, y'all. I'm just, and I'm letting y'all know this because I know I'm skipping over his app, but that sounds like a very interesting app. I'm just saying.
asked you, when they referred to God as their husband, was there a time where Allah was a husband in a correct sense?
In the same sense, he's a rock. How about that?
So is that a yes?
in a culture that uses that language. How is this complicated?
It's complicated because you won't answer my direct question.
You're just not saying yes or no, that's why.
Of course, because what is wrong with the explanation? I do not use this terminology today because calling God a rock.
I didn't ask you today.
And we understand that. We understand that.
So that's why I don't use it.
I asked.
At that time,
I got you.
Obviously,
at that time,
I already answered that.
So is it a yes at that time? Allah was a husband?
At that time, if they used it and they would explain it from that meaning, they could say anything just the same way.
So is that a yes? At that time, Allah was a husband?
Was he a husband? Do you see what he's doing? This is the same thing as is Jesus gay? This is the exact same thing.
No, it's not.
It's a little.
That's all you're doing. You're playing games.
But let's
hold on.
Man, bro, you supposed to be a scholar, bro. Come on, dog. Let's answer the question. I feel like they really are. To be honest, bro, they're scared of God logic. They are. I ain't even gonna say God logic. They scared of the truth. Cause like none of them will not give a direct answer. It's always beating around the bushes, always explaining something. Either say yes or no. But it's crazy because like when they ask us question or God logic question, we know when it's a trap. Like, okay, I had to break this down for you. But we still give an answer yes or no. We don't just explain it. Like we, give a yes or a no. Sometimes we do the same thing they do. So I'm not just gonna sit here and just, glaze up all our apologists, but still, like it's, yeah. Pause on that too, cause I know what that term means when I think about it.
Hold on. It's a simple question. Hold on. Let's. I want you guys to be clear about this. There could be a language in the world where people use the name Jesus, Yeshua, Jesus, and say gay.
Yeah, just for.
No, hold on.
Okay.
Please answer the question.
Yeah, sure.
In that situation, is Jesus gay?
If that's what they term him as gay, we can refer to them as that name.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, you see how I answered you?
Yes.
So now it's your turn.
Yes.
So
I said it.
So yes.
I said it.
So yes, Allah as a husband at that time.
I guarantee you, some weird Muslim is gonna clip that part. I guarantee you that. Watch this. I bet it's on Twitter now. I mean, I'm recording this late, so it's what that's gonna be a clip for a Muslim. Oh, look, he called Jesus gay. Just watch. That's all they like to do. It's like a worthless clip.
If they use that terminology with this meaning, then I affirm the meaning while I'm not interested in the language.
So yes.
Yeah. If they use that meaning, I'm clarifying. Why is this not clear to you?
It's a yes, Allah was a husband in a correct meaning back then, or no, he wasn't. We can't affirm that at all. So is it yes, he was a husband back then? Was that okay terminology to use for Allah?
Let me clarify. Now, because I don't know about the history of, can I go back to that time and know that that's what they meant? So I will not say that that was affirmed. But if that's what they mean, then I have no problem with a culture, any culture, saying any word as long as they clarify it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think just for clarification, when you're using your example, you're using the word gay as a name.
Mm-hmm.
He's using the word father as like
theology.
Like a theology.
So you want me to adopt your theology?
A theological identity.
Okay, so he's using a theology, but don't adopt the theology. What are you guys talking about?
No, I'm just clarifying the difference between the analogies. That's all.
Right. So he's trying to usher in an entire theology behind that word?
No.
Why can't if that's the case, actually, I'm glad you clarified that. So you're telling me that he's using the word father, including an entire theology, and you're upset that I'm clarifying my theology?
I'm not upset.
You're saying you're not answering. You're not clear enough about your theology.
Can I
let me unpack it each and every single time, please. Because like you just said, he's using that word for the sake of inserting his theology. So it's a really good idea for me not to say yes or no, but to unpack the theology. So please don't act like this is unclear.
Let me respond to this.
No, it is.
Brian, let me
it is
respond
clear
to
for
Great.
sure.
Fantastic.
We're both
Thank you.
clear. I'm just trying to.
No, you're just asking the same question 50 times.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to try to get
because
to
he
the
doesn't
next
like
point.
the fact that I actually answered.
Let me respond to this.
Okay.
Let me tell you why it's a theological issue, Dr. Nasser. Because one, in your book, in chapter 9, verse 30, it says that whoever says that Jesus is the Son of Allah, that they're cursed and they're copying the sayings of those who disbelieved before them. This is a theological issue in your religion.
Now you see it.
Hold on.
You see what's ushering in?
Yeah, let's keep
Thank
going.
you.
Let's keep going.
Now we understand.
In chapter 19, verse 93, it says that there's none in the heavens or the earth that can come to the most beneficent except as a slave. You can't, in the context,
What
matter of fact, let me start.
What sort of?
Chapter 19, Surah Miriam.
Yeah.
Chapter 19, verse 93. I'll start at 88 because in 80, it starts with the idea of rejecting.
He's going to be packing on how many verses until which one's going to answer? Because he's done two so far.
My brother, I'm responding to what you just said. You just had your little thing. Let me respond to you.
If you're going to quote the Quran, can I respond to the first one?
Hold on.
Surah Tawbah or Surah Maryam? Which one would you like to respond to before you pack on more?
Please, hold on. Let's do this. Let's give him 30 seconds to a minute. Finish his point, and then we'll give you 30 seconds.
Should I take notes and write down each of the verses that he's citing, or no?
If you could try to stick to like
it's going to be a while.
I'll just use these two.
It's going to be a while.
I'll just use these two. I won't go to the others.
Great.
I'll just use these two. So you have throughout your Quran, I won't even quote them because I don't want them to get overwhelmed. You have all these verses in your Quran, specifically the two I mentioned, that directly connect the idea of God being a father or having children with a theological conundrum.
There you go.
And
Perfect.
that if you affirm that Allah is a parent in any way, shape, or form, then you are a disbeliever. You would agree that being a believer and a disbeliever is a theological issue, right?
Can you say the word disbeliever slower and more clearly?
Sure.
Disbeliever. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Would you agree that that being a believer and a disbeliever are theological issues?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you agree that this father thing is a theological issue, not just a name and title. It's theology. And so if your theology does not match Jesus, Jesus can't be a Muslim. This is the problem. That's why you're trying to fix this.
Okay. Perfect.
Did the Jews use their terminology the same way?
As who?
As Jesus.
No.
No, he didn't.
No, Jesus referred to himself as the begotten Son of God. The Jews.
So there's no other begotten sons of God?
No.
There's no other begotten Son of God?
No.
In the Bible?
No.
Okay. So you do realize that Jesus was speaking to the Israelites.
Speaking of who?
Speaking to the Israelites. He was an Israelite speaking to the Israelites.
In what context?
Every context? He was an Israelite speaking to Israelites? Are you not aware of this?
Oh, there's some, no, not every context. There's some context he was just speaking to the Greeks. There's sometimes he was just speaking to the Romans.
Speaking broadly speaking, who was he, who sent to the lost sheep of Israel? No?
Sent to the lost sheep of Israel,
Great.
dealing with Canaanite women.
Great. So what I'm saying is that there was a certain theological implication at that time, a certain understanding of the term father, yes or no?
It depends on the context.
And are you doing your best to usher that completely out, yes or no?
No.
No, you're just asserting one meaning, right? You just said the word father has a very specific theological meaning, and apparently you divorced it from the entire Jewish history, correct?
That's a good point. Let me respond to you.
Great.
Dr. Nasser, I am not limiting the term father, the theology of father, to one meaning. According to Islam, listen,
Patently false. Go ahead.
Let me show you why. According to your religion, there's no meaning in which father can be used. You cannot be a Muslim and affirm theologically that Allah is your father in any sense.
And where does it say that in the Quran?
And be a Muslim.
Is that true?
So let me explain this.
Okay.
God in the Quran says in, chapter 5, verse 18, right? He says,
Good verse.
good verse, right?
Yes.
So what does it say?
It says that the Jews and the Christians say, we are the sons of Allah, his loved ones. And it says, then say, why does he punish you for your sins?
Perfect.
No, you are but men, and Allah punishes who he wills, and he has mercy on who he wills, and to him you will return.
And how do you understand that verse?
That the Jews and Christians are saying that they are the sons of God metaphorically, and Allah rejects it.
Wrong.
What? Okay,
So let me explain.
Break it down.
Let me explain. Do you know what the word ahibba means?
No.
You use it all the time. I've heard you say it many times.
I
You know that word?
Nah.
You don't say habibi all the time?
Oh, Habibi. Okay.
There you go. What's the plural of habibi?
I don't know.
Ahibba.
Okay.
That's what you're quoting.
Okay.
Do you think it's wrong for me to believe that somebody, that people can become beloved to God?
No.
No, it's not wrong. So when God says, the Jews and the Christians, they say we are the children of God and we're his beloved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Is this saying that you can't? No, it's completely haram and evil that a human being be beloved to God? No, of course not.
Right.
It's perfectly allowed.
Right.
So is it possible at the same time for someone to say, as the Jews do, we're the children of God? Clearly that verse is not condemning that concept. What is God condemning in this particular circumstance? It's the idea of saying, I know that I am super righteous according to God. That this is the same thing as chapter 53 verse, I'm going to remember the verse. فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. Allah says what? That He knows, Allah says, commands, do not ascribe purity to yourself. Don't ascribe tezkiyah and purity to yourself. He knows who is more righteous. So the criticism here is clearly not about the terminology, because there's nothing wrong with somebody being Habibullah. You guys know Habib, the famous fighter, Habib? He fought here in Vegas, you know, fighting Conor McGregor. His name is Habib. Is that a haram term? No, it's not a haram term. The most famous fighter in the world, his name is Habib. So clearly God is not saying, these are haram words. You can't use this terminology. So that verse that I know you thought it was a big one for you, it actually refutes you.
Oh, it refutes me. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, let's break
Now,
this down.
can I go to well, you said I could respond to two.
Well, no, I said I
mentioned
only
Surah Maryam.
used
No,
two.
that's the whole point of packing on, is it not?
I didn't do that to you, but okay.
You didn't pack on two, and I said, and then tell me I can respond to two?
I quoted two verses. I didn't go in and explaining two verses.
Right, so
Yeah.
what's the point of shotgunning a bunch of them?
When
if I
you
can't
just
respond?
broke down, I just generalized the idea of how Allah deals with the subject of being having a son. What you just did was you gave a full exegesis on the verse, and I can't respond to your exegesis right now. So, but if
Let's just go to the second point.
Thank you.
Okay.
So in terms of Surah Maryam, where it says no one can come to God except as a servant, I assume what your point is, what you're trying to say here is that obviously there's these are diametrically opposed. You can't be both a servant as well as like a child of God. Is that your point?
yes,
Then you just threw Isaiah 53 under the bus.
is that your point?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's
Suffering servant, right?
yeah.
Son of God?
Let's work back.
You said yes.
I'll work.
Thank you for the clip.
I'll work backwards. You're welcome for the clip. This is going to embarrass you.
Yalla.
Oh. Every time GodLogic do that, he like, this is gonna embarrass you. You're about to get embarrassed, bro. I think he finna get, yeah, the script for anybody. It's about to get flipped.
Isaiah 53 is not Islamic theology.
I know.
Dr. Nasser.
That's why I asked you, and you answered.
Dr. Nasser,
You answered.
you asked me
Yes.
about what I understand about your Quranic text.
Yeah.
Your Quranic text has nothing to do with biblical theology.
What's your point about it? Go ahead.
So I can have a position on a Quranic text without it having anything to do with, thank you very much, without it having to do with my biblical understanding of my biblical text. That don't make no sense. So thank you for that clip.
Right.
Chapter 5, verse 18. Now let's go back with your eisegesis. In chapter 5, verse 18, you said it's not about the terminology. It's exactly about the terminology. That's why it mentions it. We, the Jews and Christians, say, what do they say? Oh, we are the sons of Allah, his loved ones. Then say,
And his loved ones.
why does, that's what it said.
You said sons of Allah, loved ones. You have to put
And his loved ones,
the one.
sure,
So that means there's two terms going on.
Sure, no worries, and he denies both.
No, wrong.
What? He says.
So you just said he denied Ahibba?
He denies
What happened to
both.
Habibi?
He denies
thank you.
both
So
when
you
they're
clearly don't
calling them their
understand.
sons and his loved ones. Let me show you how.
So it's wrong to call
watch
somebody
this,
beloved?
Watch this. In Ibn Kathir's tafsir of this verse, he even acknowledges that the Jews are referring to themselves as children of God in a metaphorical way, in the way that they follow the prophets and that God looks after them. And guess what Allah says? No. He says no. Why then does he punish you for your sins? Implying that if you were his sons and his beloved ones, let's combine the two, right? Because the two of them.
No, they're two things. They're both terms, and you're denying both, which makes no sense.
That's what deal with your Quran, not me. So he says, no, why then does he punish you for your sins? This is in direct contrast to Moses in Deuteronomy chapter 8, where God says to Israel that as a father, I discipline you. Just as a father disciplines his son, so I discipline you in the wilderness and punish them for their sins, take them through the hard times. So according to Jesus' theology and Moses' theology, God does punish a son for his sins, his beloved ones for the sins. But in Islam, if you are his son and his beloved one, that's not what he would do. Do you see? This is showing the theology in the Quran is completely contrary to the theology of Jesus and the prophets. That's why he's not a Muslim.
Good.
Contradiction.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about 8 different categories of people he describes as those who he loves. Inna Allah yuhibbu, indeed Allah loves al-mutawakkilin,
Loves who?
al-sabirin. It talks about different people, those who are patient, those who rely upon God, those who have taqwa,
Not
etc.
sons,
Those who are muhsineen.
Not
So he
sons.
loves the, what is happening? Did
Sorry,
you see how
I'm just
quiet
saying,
it was?
not sons.
Did you see how quiet it was?
Yeah, I get it.
Look, man.
You was chiming in when I was talking.
Thank
Come
you.
on.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
trying
For
to
the
do this.
listeners, let's
So-
like give them like 30 seconds to.
Thank you. So what I'm trying to say is that very obviously throughout the Quran, Allah Ta'ala affirms that he loves people. So your objective, which is to say that chapter 5, verse 18, is blaming these people and saying this is evil language and you can't use this language. Clearly, if you say that it's wrong to use both of these terms, then that would mean that you can't call yourself beloved of God, but throughout the Quran, people are beloved to God. Now, we don't use that terminology. That's why God specifically says, the Jews and the Christians use this type of terminology, right? Now, we recognize that and we understand that.
Why don't you?
Because of your messed up theology. You guys started attributing a literal son to God, and so that's why in Surah 9, they said God doesn't actually have kids, guys. At that time, if you want to say these are children, 2 parties in the world, children of God and children of the devil, when you use terms like that, we're like, yeah, we get you. We don't use that terminology, but we get you. If you're going to twist that into Roman paganist ideas that include the idea that, oh, the emperor is a child of God or a representative of God on earth, and then you mix Christianity with all this, and you have all these issues now, then it's much better for God to clarify and say what? Even when you use this terminology, do not attribute purity to yourselves. It's not saying that the terminology is completely prohibited, because if it was completely prohibited, then what that would imply is that Habib is not something allowed. Now, we don't use that terminology. We don't use that terminology. I want to be clear about that. So we don't have to use that because obviously it got corrupted. And so it has a bunch of different meanings. But we understand what people mean. And that verse is talking about do not attribute purity to yourself, especially when the idea is that, look, you could be a good person some days and a bad person others. The idea that, oh, I joined a group. I'm either Jewish or I'm Christian, therefore I'm just beloved to God no matter what. I am considered so pure that I'm a son of God in all circumstances. I understand what you mean. You're talking about just being a righteous person. And I'm letting you know that that level of arrogance is not allowed.
Okay. Can I
That's clear. You go.
Okay, so there's 2 things that I noticed.
I ain't gonna lie, bro, that scholar talked too much. Oh my gosh. I was getting bored listening to him. Like, he talked way too much. Like, way too much. I should have, like, did a reaction to this the next day, because that dude talked way too much.
One, you contradicted yourself.
Great.
Because you just said that you don't use the term Habib, but you did affirm that Habib calls himself Habib, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You just misunderstood.
I know, I think I do understand what you're saying. That being Habibullah, you can't affirm that of yourself.
Of course, there's people named Habibullah. I think my great-grandfather was named Habibullah.
Then why did you just say you can't use the term?
You can't attribute it to yourself. Listen.
Got it.
Can somebody be, look, it's like the word righteous. Here, let's make it real simple for you. Can I walk around saying, I'm a righteous person? I'm a righteous person? Look, let God judge. I'm aspiring to be a righteous person. I'm aspiring to be beloved by God. I want to be beloved by God. And you know what, that guy over there, he seems like he's beloved by God. I think he is. But do I know for a fact that we are the loved ones of God? That's arrogant.
So you can't, as a Muslim, you can't affirm that you're the loved one of God?
So, believers are beloved to God. Allah says, let me explain. Allah says, Wallahu yuhibbu sabirin. Allah loves those who are patient. Do I try to exercise patience? Of course I do.
I understand, Dr. Nasser. My question was very simple. As a Muslim, can you affirm for yourself that you are beloved of God?
No, I will not.
That's tough.
I will not arrogantly declare that I know God loves me. No, God judges me. I don't tell God what to think.
This is another thing that is contrary to the teachings of Jesus. The teaching of Jesus says that you are the loved ones of your Father. Just like he takes care of the birds, just like he dresses the lilies, how much more are you worth to him than these? Jesus says that those of us who are believers, those of us who are in the kingdom, we are beloved of God. This is another contrary thing with Muslim theology and Christ's theology. It's completely opposite. That's number one. Number two.
What, he's going to pack on?
You said,
let him go.
remember, I said 2 things.
It's
Okay.
adding to the point.
Sure. Number 2, you said that that this term of father and these other terms are basically removed because people misused them. They attributed them to false things, false worship, and so that's why Allah took the initiative to remove these terminologies from the theology, basically, correct? To correct them, right? Okay. So now this is where I think that you messed up here as well, because in chapter 5, it's a reminder. I think it's verse number 73 or 72, if I'm not mistaken. Are you familiar with who it says the Christians say Allah is?
You have to remind me.
It says that the Christians, it doesn't say Christians specifically, but it says those who say that the Messiah is Allah. So they were referring to the Messiah as Allah. Is that an incorrect or correct way to use the term Allah?
To call Allah
To call the Messiah
Obviously
Allah.
No, we don't call
So
Messiah.
then why do you still use the term Allah if it was being misused by the Christians or the people calling the Messiah Allah?
This is why I should have responded to the first point. What was the first point? Are you
No,
serious?
Yeah, I'm
That's
dead
the question?
serious. You don't have a response right now. You're stalling. Can you respond to what I just said?
Why is it the
Yeah, he's stalling. He's really stalling.
case?
I'll repeat it. Why do you use the term Allah today when it was being misused by those who were calling the Messiah Allah? When your point was that Allah deleted the term Father and deleted all these other terms from the theology because people attributed these things to false idols, false gods, corrupt theology, Roman Greek theology and mythology. So he removed this stuff because it was misused.
So you have to remove the word God?
So why didn't he remove the term Allah when it was being misused by those who were saying that the Messiah is Allah?
So what is the solution here? To now get rid of the term God?
Don't ask me. This was your point.
This is the weirdest. I never imagined someone would say that because somebody said God is, I don't know, a frog. And now we have to keep the word frog but get rid of the word God. That's your point?
What you said, listen, your point was, and I'll repeat it again because
That was smooth. He's literally GodLogic just used his argument against him. And he's like, this is stupid. What?
I can still man you over and over. You said, and you agreed that you said this.
Yes.
You agreed that I understood I represented you well. Your point is that the reason why Allah got rid of terms like sons and daughters and father was because people misused these terms and applied it to false theology and Greek mythology and mixed
no
it up.
problem. I got your answer.
I got you. All right. So
your answer.
they're good. So they're mixing up the term Allah with false theology, saying that the Messiah is Allah.
Right.
Why then did he not get rid of the term Allah?
Because he never gets rid of the term God. The term God itself is fine. That's the stable, actual definition of who God is, right? So you use the term God, and then you could attribute names to God, like a husband, or I think there's one verse that says, rock. There's another one that says that it's like a birthing mother or something like that, screaming in pains of birth or something like this, right? So these add-ons, these tags, if they get completely messed up and twisted, then naturally you're going to say, listen, you guys have a very messed up theology. You shouldn't use these types of terms because apparently some people took it literally. And that's a real big problem. Now can I get back to the first verse? I don't remember what it was. So no, you're not going to get rid of the base concept of God because somebody said, oh, look over there, this idol is a God. Well, now we have to throw away the word God because he attributed that idol to God? No, what? Okay, anyway, what was the first verse? What was the first one you said?
He was talking about God loving us.
Perfect, thank you. Now I got it.
There we
Being
go.
compared to the beloved of the Father. Yeah, exactly. Are there no such thing as hypocrites in Christianity?
Sure.
Okay, so doesn't Jesus say, when they said, come to him saying, Lord, Lord, he said, get away from me, I never knew you?
Some of them.
Yes, and doesn't that mean that they're not guaranteed because they thought they were guaranteed and they
The
weren't?
hypocrites aren't, but
Exactly.
the ones who are not hypocrites,
So-
who identify
so
him
you
as
guys-
Lord, gets into heaven. Well, I don't know.
My point is, you guys
What's your
got to
point?
drop you got to drop this line of like, what? You don't know? Oh, I feel so sorry for you. You're not going to heaven. When what is it? There's a particular verse that says you might lose your secured position, right? There's that verse that specifically says that you can lose your secure position. Why? Because
What verse?
What verse? Yeah.
2 Peter 3:17-18. Be on your guard so that you may not be carried away by the error of the lawless and fall from your secure position. Is this talking about like security guards? No, secure position means faith. You have solid faith, but it's not guaranteed. You can fall from your secure position. There are such people that say that they're Christian. They think that they're guaranteed, but they're hypocrites. They run to Jesus saying, Lord, Lord. He says, get away from me. I never knew you. Lawless people. Anomos, right? Anomos, lawless. Doesn't Paul talk about being anomos at some point?
Are you asking for me a response or?
That was a question.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a full response if that's okay, Dr. Nasser.
Yellow.
Okay, so we're not talking about hypocrites, brother. We're talking about what God affirms for himself. I don't care about the hypocrites. Jesus himself says that we are the beloved of the Father. You didn't touch that, but you went.
He's trying to run away from the argument. I see what's happening here. Bro, why you bringing that up? See, we gotta when we debate them, you gotta stay on topic. Regardless if it may trigger you in any kind of way, you still gotta stay on the topic. Even we don't care if they say, "Oh, you trying to run from us." No, nope. Let's stay on topic. Stay on topic.
On to talk about hypocrites for some reason. That's
Are they,
relevant.
what religion are they?
The hypocrites?
Yes.
They claim to be Christians. Who cares?
There you go.
All right. What about the true Christians? Are
Yes.
they? So
obviously,
are you?
true believers go to heaven. What are you talking
But
about?
are you
True
affirming?
believers are beloved to
Hold
God.
on.
Obviously,
Okay.
you ask me if I'm arrogant enough to say I know I'm perfect. I know that I'm solid with God. I've never had hypocrisy in my heart. No, but the whole purpose of life.
That's not what I was saying.
Then I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking. So please follow me.
Sure.
You were talking about how in Islam you cannot refer to yourself as the beloved of God. That's what you said. But in Christianity,
Missed it.
you can.
Wrong.
And you are affirmed as the beloved of God. You specifically. That's what I'm saying.
You missed it.
And so, hold on.
I can just clarify that one point.
Go ahead.
There's a difference between me attributing it to myself versus the idea of people being beloved. That's the difference.
Okay, I know.
Great, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that in Christianity, with Jesus' theology, you can affirm that you are the beloved of God. Matter of fact, you can go confidently before God and affirm yourself as the beloved of God. This is what Jesus teaches.
The moment you become Christian?
The second you're a believer.
Right. So
the moment you're a
perfect.
believer.
There's no hypocrites. There's no such thing as hypocrites.
No, that has nothing to do with hypocrisy. Please focus.
Are you joking?
The point is that the
Focus,
theology
bro.
that Jesus is preaching is opposite of the theology we're finding in Islam. So you can't say Jesus is a Muslim when he has the opposite theology, when he has the opposite idea of who God is, what he desires from us, who we are to God versus Islam. You can't say he's a Muslim. Talking about your past point.
No. Can I respond to this?
Wait, in just a
I was quiet.
second.
Let him do his whole thing.
In a
let
second.
me respond. Before I don't want to change the subject.
Are you going to change the subject?
Yes.
Well, I wanted to, because he mentioned a lot before
just
this
made a
about,
huge
about
blunder.
the name of about
Let me
the
catch
name
the
Allah.
blunder before he changes the subject.
No.
You don't want
you don't want me to catch on the blunder?
Bro, he got away with the Allah thing, with the term God.
Yes, you don't
thing.
drop the term God. Look, yes.
I just want to do a quick response to that.
Hilarious. No.
Because he went on a
You
diatribe.
just said every person that converts to
up to you,
Christianity,
Brian.
every person that converts to Christianity is now beloved the second they become Christian.
You let me know.
And that means they're all beloved. And they can say confidently that I'm beloved. That means what? That if they're all beloved and they're all correct and they're all saved, there are no hypocrites. He acted like he didn't get it. I know you got it.
That's not what that means. That's so silly.
I think the point of
Yeah, exactly.
I
There are
think-
hypocrites.
I personally think that the point of you explaining that Jesus teaches us that we're loved by God is like very important.
Yeah.
So I would like to kind of like stick to that point because I feel like the definition of a law thing is important, but we're bouncing back and forth between two topics.
The reason why I'm bringing that up is because it brings a huge hole in his argument on why Allah takes away the term father or son and daughter, because it's misused.
It's additional to God.
But
additional to God.
Unfortunately for him, the term Allah is misused as well, and they were calling the Messiah Allah.
Yeah.
So why doesn't he take away that? That destroys his entire argument that, oh well, the only reason why it's not used anymore is because it was misused. No, because if that was the case, if he was consistent, the word Allah would be gone too. But it's not. So you can't say that this is why the term father is no longer used. Matter of fact, you have to affirm that it was used before in Islamic theology, and then show me where it's abrogated. That's what you have to do.
Great.
That's
Can I
why
respond?
that's important.
May I respond?
And I definitely get that. I feel like we've said that already like 2 to 3 times in a circle.
How many times is father even mentioned in the Old Testament? There's a number of times that he's called they're called the sons, and there's a number of times where he's called father.
And none of them apply to Allah.
And my point is that clearly this isn't like the standard name for God, right?
It's the standard identity for God.
No.
Yes.
Standard identity
Yes.
in the Old Testament is
Yes.
Yahweh.
That he is your, and it says Yahweh is your father. Who
How
created
many
you.
times?
A bunch.
Yes.
You got Isaiah multiple times.
Yes.
In Deuteronomy multiple times. In Malachi multiple times.
And it also says Yahweh is your rock.
Okay,
right?
absolutely.
And guess
That's who he
what?
is.
If people worship rocks, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, you should stop saying that God is a rock,
What a
because these literal
misrepresentation.
idolaters think that you're speaking literally. And you're gonna say, no, don't get rid of the word rock. Let's hold on to the word rock. Get rid of the word God. That's your solution?
No, see, that was your solution. Come on, man. Follow along with your own argument.
joking?
You're the one who said the solution is getting rid of the words, not me. That was your argument. So don't try to put on your stupid.
That was his argument. That really was his argument. Really was.
Argument unto me. That was silly. I'm showing you.
No.
I'm showing you.
Ad
Yeah.
hominems.
Yeah. No, it's not. I'm not calling you stupid.
Sure.
The argument was dumb.
Sure.
But you're applying the argument to me like that's my position. Let me be it clear to you. My position is not, let's get rid of the word because people misuse it. Guess who said that, ladies and gentlemen? Dr. Nasser said that. I'm
Sure.
saying
Yeah, get
that
rid
you
of
can
God.
you can correct the meaning and give them like, hey, like for example.
Okay, hold on. Let's run with
Let
this.
me finish.
Let's run with this.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, sure.
I
Go.
appreciate
This
it.
is great.
Thank you. You can correct the meaning that yes, God is your rock in this way, not that God is an actual literal rock, inanimate object.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with the word. It's the meaning that's the problem. But with you guys, it's meaning and terminology. For Father, it's wrong. You're a disbeliever. You're going to hell. You cannot refer to Allah as your Father. Never have, never can, never will. So for you to pretend like this is once okay in some way, or, oh, you know what? Not the word, but I see what you guys are talking about. As a Muslim, you cannot. Which is why when you bring up, hold on. Which is why when you bring up Jesus speaking to Jews, this is what I wanted to touch on specifically.
Okay.
Jesus,
don't let him change the
Jesus
subject. I just
speaking to
waited.
Jews. I'm on the same thing. Trust me.
Yallah, go for it.
When you talked about who did Jesus talk to the Jews, right? So he talked to them in a way that they would understand, correct?
Yeah,
This is an analogy that Jesus gave them, a parable. He said that there was a vineyard owner who gave his vineyard, let the tenants borrow his vineyard. Watch, just pay attention. I promise it's gonna click.
I got to write these down because I have a response for both.
Oh, no, just pay attention.
Go for it.
He said that there's tenants that the vineyard owner gives, lets them borrow.
21, Matthew
Then
21.
he goes away. He then sends servants. Yeah, I'm glad you know it. He then sends servants to go collect the produce of the vineyard. But when he sends his servants, guess what? They kill him, they reject him, they put him out, beat them. Then what does he do? Then he says, you know what? I'll send my son. They will surely respect my son. And then when the son appears, they say, oh, this is the heir, the one who is the inheritor. If we take him and kill him, we can take his inheritance. They kill him and throw him outside. Jesus says, what do you think he's going to do to those tenants? They say he's going to destroy them, take them and give the vineyard to someone else. So notice what Jesus does. The tenants is Israel. The servants being sent to Israel, the prophets. The son of the vineyard owner, who is God, is Jesus. Jesus makes a distinction between himself as the Son of God and the prophets and Israel. Is that okay for Jesus to do? To separate himself as the unique Son of God apart from the servants, the prophets, and apart from Israel?
Can I speak? Can I have
Absolutely.
about as
On
much
the
time?
floor.
Go ahead.
No interruptions?
If you can respond to this directly.
As long as you don't interrupt, that would be great. So, God is the literal thing of what we're talking about, right? We're talking about God.
Yeah.
Father is figurative.
Okay.
It makes sense to get rid of the figurative meaning when it's causing problems. Just imagine if somebody says this idol is our creator, and then he's suggesting get rid of the term creator. But creator is a literal term because he literally created us. We're going to throw out that term? No, I'm fine throwing out figurative terms. If that is an issue, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Throw out literal terms, that God is our creator. Oh, guys, they called this one creator, so we have to throw it out. Please tell me that's clear to you because that is a bad argument. Now, point number 2, unfortunately for you.
You just said your argument's bad. You just said your argument's bad.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah, that's been your argument the whole
Look,
time.
man, you don't have to always posture like you're winning. I get it. I get it. You have to always posture like you're winning.
I know, it hurts.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
This guy's always winning. Oh, he can't lose.
I know. It's tough.
It's so sad, right?
sorry.
Look, man, if you need your ego that badly
I'm
to be,
chilling, bro.
at what point do you stop interrupting?
Okay.
Chilling.
No, because he has to keep reminding
Oh man, this man is fuming over here. He's fuming. Bro, we'll finish this little bit right quick.
the audience that he's winning. Otherwise, they might think that
You're
he's not
correcting
winning.
him, I'm winning. I didn't say that.
So he speaks, I'm quiet, right? When I speak,
Go
he has to
ahead.
remind them, guys, I'm better. Guys, I'm winning.
Bro,
guys, I'm right.
go
He just said he's
ahead.
wrong. Right. I just said I'm
He's
wrong.
upset, guys.
Did
Okay.
you see?
Let's just let him go.
Yeah. I am. I'm fretting.
I know.
Bro, look.
Louder and more confident, please.
Okay, please.
Thank
just finish your
you.
point.
Fantastic. Now, Matthew 21 doesn't help you very much.
Perfect.
Because we're talking about people understanding in context, right? And so what did the people understand in context? When you go through the entire parable, at the end of it, apparently there was a bunch of Pharisees, and they wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to do something to harm him. And everybody concluded in the crowd They were like, we can't attack him or do anything bad to him because there's all these people that believe in him and they believe that he is clearly the Son of God. No, wait, that's not what it says. What does the final verse say? What do all the people conclude? Is Jesus a really bad orator? Is he really bad at communication? Or is it possibly the case that after giving that entire parable, the people who clearly believed in him and understood exactly what he meant and actually wanted to support him concluded that he's a what? What is the final word in that entire passage? That they concluded he was a what? Matthew 21, guys. What did they conclude that he was?
We're trying not to cut you off.
Prophet.
Yeah, because if I engage, he gonna cry.
If you ask questions, he's gonna respond, and then
Very nice.
yeah.
They concluded he was a prophet. And so I am perfectly fine understanding that when those people in that context use certain language and they come to certain conclusions, especially the sincere ones around him that want to understand him, and they did a good job of understanding him, conclude that he's a prophet, then I'm going to conclude the same thing. Now, if you later on, 2,000 years later, say, you know what, they concluded he was a prophet, but you know what, I conclude something different. That's great. That's fantastic. You go ahead. But I'm fine concluding what they concluded.
So are you saying, like, in the Bible, Jesus didn't teach that God was our Father?
That's what you've gotten this whole time?
I'm just asking, yeah, like in general, because it sounds like you're saying that.
Okay, let me explain it to you.
Okay.
If at their time they had a culture, which the Jews still maintain till today, so I can't believe this is confusing for you guys. They still maintain this. It's figurative language. So if he used that figurative language, which I don't know for a fact, because I didn't live 2,000 years ago, but we have reports. And it seems there's a lot of reports about this. So let's say that either A, it's inauthentic, or
We got halfway through it. I'm gonna stop it right there. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Y'all haven't got much reaction out of me because I'm tired. I was supposed to do this reaction like earlier, but I got caught up being really busy working on my car, working on a dryer because the element went out. But so I ain't gonna lie, like I kind of lost track towards the end because I'm just so tired. But we got to finish this. We have to finish this debate because I think it get better. I think it get like a lot better. Um, but this was just very interesting. Right now, he feeling really confident now. Like the scholar right now is feeling real confident. At first, he was like all over the place. He knew he had to come down because he already know like if he keep freaking out, it's just gonna make him look bad. But I think the scholar, I'm gonna be honest, I think the scholar is like somewhat doing a good job at explaining stuff, but at the same time, he's not giving an answer. And also he's like not agreeing with his own argument. Like he'll make an argument and then later on reject it, which is weird. I don't think he realized that. That's what I'm getting out of that. But with that being said, man, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. This is a really good debate. Uh Absolutely thought this is just really good. Really good. This is a channel where we look at things from a Christian lens. We react to it, whether that be debates, things that are happening in the world, teaching. I just look at it and give my authentic reaction to it. Um, Lately it been debates. That's been the hot topic, y'all. So yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Subscribe if you're someone who love to watch reaction, cause that's what we do here. With that being said, man, I hope y'all have a blessed day. And if you end up watching this video tonight, pray that you get some good sleep. I'm out.